When the gear lever broke on the Mariner 4 and they wanted £45 for a new one, and I thought, well, I'll make one instead. That's 3 trips to the boat. I thought I would have to remove the upper leg, but as it happened, because the lever was broken, I only needed to take the block off from the inside, so that saved a lot of work. I did in fact start to take the legs off. I took the gearbox off, took the chance to change the seals. I also, to get the clamp off, I had to drill the thing out. It was rusted up. The seals, by the way, are about, they are 13mm by 22mm. A few pence from a seal stockist, a few pounds from a mariner. From the inside, I loosened the 2 electrical blocks. See them in the photograph. Just at the side of the engine. I didn't actually disconnect the wires. I just placed them to one side. Made sure the wires weren't pulling or too tight. Undo the 6 or so screws holding the block on. The red arrows in the photograph. Keep the engine vertical though, because you don't want the block falling out. Now lift the block up very carefully and mind the gasket underneath it. Just lay it to one side, but don't pull the wires. It will actually rest on the corner. Remove the indent spring on the cam, on the gear lever, and if like mine, you should be able to pull it all off now because it was broken. Because the shaft had jammed in and broken the lever, I think I didn't grease the thing. I couldn't pull it or push it, so I ended up drilling as much as I could, loosen it all off, and then prising it from the inside. There is actually 2 O-rings in there. Be careful as you drill it out, don't drill through them as well. I made the shaft from a piece of 5/8 diameter brass bar, hacksawed the end, the same as the plastic bit that came off, so as it goes into the gear rod in the very end. Spacer out of a bit of 1/2 inch, 5/8 tuber to go over it, about 1/2 inch long. And the cam I made from a piece of 10mm plate. Copied the old one, drilled and filed, and ended up with a new shape. Welded a little stop bar to the side, and hey presto, there it was. Then I just roughly assembled it to make sure it all worked, which it did. So then I could finally cut the shaft to length, drill it for a handle, make a little handle, and try to put it all back together. The only bit I couldn't do with the tools I had at home was the 2 grooves for the O-ring. But since I work in engineering, that was easily overcome. To set it up, mark with a felt tip pen a little rod that comes through the back of the upper leg. Mark it in forward, reverse and neutral. You can pull and push this by hand to get it into position. Now connect the gear rods up with the clamp. Then with the new lever, push it ahead. Have a look at the mark on the little rod, make sure it's come fully up. Put it reverse, make sure it's gone fully down. And neutral, make sure the propeller spins without catching anything. Now to reassemble everything and give it a test run. A little tip, when lowering the block back onto the shaft when you're reassembling it, it might not quite locate. So just turn the starting handle slightly so it just turns the engine a little bit, then it should drop on.